Hello, my name is Joshua Drum. I am Gold Team Scrum Master, and we are going to be presenting Archer Man. These are our team members. From left to right, on the top we have Rajiv, Faiz, myself, Josh, Michelle, Caleb, and Gordon.
Hi, I'm Gordon from the Gold Team, and I'm going to be working on the game engine. The purpose of the game engine is to control the flow of the game and facilitate the interaction between all the game objects. To achieve this goal, the game engine will render graphics. We'll use one of several different buffer strategies that will provide continuous and fluid graphics and provide an efficient use of memory. We will be experimenting with both double and triple buffering and use the strategy that works best. One of the main goals of the game engine is to coordinate game events and the phases of the game. Game events include things like the opening splash screen, any kind of level introductions, any kind of animations between levels, and when the game is over, the game engine should present a screen that says so, and any credits if necessary. Phases during the game, as the game engine renders, will have different phases for input, animation, effects and behaviors, physics, and movement. This game controller is also the controller of the MVC pattern. It will interpret keyboard and mouse movements and translate those into events and basically provides a junction between the user input and the game data. All that put together will become the game engine, and Archer Man will be an enjoyable game for everyone. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Rajiv Mancharamo from the Gold Team, and I will be doing animation and sound. For animation, I will be doing iteration between character sprites, and this is going to help me achieve animations for running, jumping, striking with sword, shooting the arrows at various angles of trajectory, also animation for death and other appropriate animations that will be iterated between the sprites as needed. For sound, I will have a soundtrack that will be playing during our gameplay, and also other sounds like streaks, grunts, smacks, all like hit noises or death sounds as well for our character and enemies. Thank you.
Next, we have our main character. Our main character will have the basic properties of a side-scrolling platformer character will have. Our character will be able to move left and right. He'll be able to jump. He'll be able to attack with sword or his bow and arrow. He will be able to charge his bow for more power, so if he holds, he'll be able to charge his arrow, make it go further, have more power. Our character will have lives and health, and will respawn when die. The main character's objective is to navigate through the levels and to reach the end, and to destroy the enemies and obstacles in order to reach the goal. The enemies that we will have in the game summarize down to three basic types. We have flyers, walkers, and launchers. The objective for the enemies are to hurt the main character and to make the levels more difficult.
Hello guys, this is Faiz Amachishti from the Gold Team, and I'm responsible for implementing the collision detection. So, our game Archer Man is supposed to be a highly interactive game where the user will face obstacles like flying enemies and walking enemies, and the user will have to use his weapons to make it to the end without dying. I plan on implementing efficient algorithms like octree to detect collisions. So let's see, what will we use collisions for? Well, when it comes to user, the user will be affected by the torpedo hits. So our enemies are going to fire torpedoes, and I will have to detect if the user has been hit and the intensity of the hit. and according to that we will take off the health points. And if the user character, which is our archer man, if it collides with different kind of enemies, then I'm supposed to take off the health points. Now when it comes to the environment, the collision detection plays a big role. It will be used to check if the archer man is jumping, if it has made to the platform or not, and it will also be used to see if the archer man has collected any potions, arrows, or any shields. If the archer man falls from a height, I will have to see using collision detection to detect how the intensity of the fall, and if it's too much, then we will take off health points. And our level will have fragile and harmful surfaces, so like lava and pits, so we will use collision to see if the user is on those platforms or not. And finally, will also be used for exit and entry doors to see if the user has finished the level or not. When it comes to enemies, enemies will be affected by the user's sword strike and the arrow hits. So since it's an archer, it will have arrows, and I will have to detect the intensity of the strikes and the hits to see if the enemy is supposed to be killed or not. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Al-Hassan from Gold Team Archer Man Game. My contribution is to design game map, game level, and control camera and side scrolling. In our game we will be having 3 levels. Each level have a different level of difficulty by having more enemies and obstacles. And each map will be having obstacles such as lava pits and holes. The map will also having platforms and potion can either collected or ignored by archer man. I'll be making a smooth following camera horizontally. The camera will be focusing on archer man movements by left to right and jumping. Thank you.
Well, hello everybody. What I am primarily focusing on is the heads-up display that contains all the information regarding the archer. It has his health as the hearts, his shield as the little shield indicators, lives, in case your archer does die. You have 3 lives right there, as you see the little smiley faces. This will be replaced with the actual head of the archer. So, just to keep it consistent, we're going to keep track of the arrows here as well, so the user always knows how many arrows are left, so he could plan accordingly. There's also going to be a mini map just to give a large scale representation of where you are in the level. And we also have 2 indicator bars, one for the bow, to where as you click and hold to fire an arrow, it will build up power, and then we have a boost bar for a temporary potion. And thank you very much.
This is a summary for the working agreement that we have for Gold Team. The ID we will be using is NetBeans 8.02. We will be using GitHub for version control. Our meetings will be every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Hangouts. Also in our working agreement, we agreed to be on time for meetings, to have a goal for every sprint, to give everyone a chance for participation. Everyone must use meaningful comments both in our code and our commit comments. We will use the model view controller design. Members will contact each other to resolve issues. Commits and pushes for all updates will happen at the end of the day, and final commits for sprint will happen at Thursday at 11 p.m. And that concludes our presentation. To overview everything, our game will be a 2D side-scrolling platform. Our main character will be an archer. We will have 3 unique levels with enemies. We will have graphics, animations, and sound. We will have a heads-up display. We will have power-ups, collision detection, and all that will run on a smooth game engine. Thanks for watching.